Well, let's open the discussion up here with House Foreign Affairs Committee member, Texas Congressman Michael McCaul. Congressman, thanks so much for joining us on American Agenda. We know there are so many questions, very few answers. As Caroline Leavitt said, only President Trump knows what he is thinking and what he is planning. What do you think the United States should do? Should we believe that these executions have been stopped, that they won't continue? We've promised to help, that help is on the way, as Bob pointed out, according to the president. Do you think it is, and how?
A lot of questions there, Katrina. Yeah. I think the posturing, I don't have the crystal ball into the president's brain, but I can tell you with the posturing of the United States military, they are taking steps in the event the president makes certain decisions. I'm not sure what the target strikes would be. We've already struck the nuclear facilities. I know the top Iranian leaders are now under consideration for sanctions. So I think he's putting all options on the table here. With respect to the crackdown, I still believe these are taking place. I think the violence is still continuing. In the briefings I've received, it's probably going to get worse, not better. The Ayatollah learned one thing in 1979 when he took over the regime from the Shah, and that was do not relent in your power. The Shah relented and the Ayatollah won. He remembers that, and I think he's going to crack down harder on these protesters in Iran. I think the big issue here is, what is the leadership of the resistance movement? What weapons do they have, if any? And then what communication flows do we have both inside and outside of Iran to help facilitate that? Finally, I have to think Israel is embedded in Iran right now, and they're very good at what they do. I would have to think our intelligence community covertly is probably, and I say this in a speculative way, not factually, that I have to believe they're involved in some fashion with the Israeli intelligence.
So, say a regime change just hypothetically would happen. They would need stuff, Congressman, right? Money, right? Supplies, weapons, systems in place to create whatever kind of future that they would have. How do you think House Republicans would view that, support that in the quest to try and make that happen?
Well, I think if there's any regime, House Republicans would support a change, and it would be the Ayatollah, which has been a disgrace to the United States since 1979. The first election I got to vote in was Reagan, when Carter was so inept in foreign policy that led to, I think, the victory of Ronald Reagan. So I do think there would be support. However, we don't want to get bogged down in forever wars in the Middle East. Again, I think the question would be, if there was regime change, who would be the leader to take over from the Ayatollah? I think that's the question that we can't answer right now. Some would say the MEK-backed candidate. I don't think they have enough power inside of Iran. I think the Shah's crown prince son would be another one, but yet I'm not sure you have a leader waiting in the wings that would make a whole lot of sense right now. Mm-hmm. Not to mention, again, I don't see a lot of weapons in the hands of the resistance or the communications they need to adequately do so.
Okay, Congressman Michael McCaul, we're going to have to leave it right there, but thank you so much for answering all of our questions. You're right, there were a lot. And join us again on American Agenda soon. Thank you.
Next time we want the solution. No.